And welcome back to The Takeout. DNC leaders are here in Washington working out their 2028 primary calendar. The debate has gotten contentious between those who want South Carolina to be first and those who want Nevada to be first. Well, former Democratic National Committee Chair Jaime Harrison joins me now. Jaime, good to see you.
It's great seeing you.
So besides the idea that reporters love coming to Charleston during the primary season.
Of course, they do. They shrimp and grits.
No complaints here. But you are obviously advocating for South Carolina to go first.
That's my home.
This is your home state.
That's my home state.
Why?
Well, listen, I think South Carolina, when you take a look at the presidential primary calendar over these last few years, and you look at the performance of each of the states, Iowa, New Hampshire, Nevada, South Carolina has almost always predicted the eventual nominee of the party. Yeah. Did so with Barack Obama, did so with Hillary Clinton, did so with Joe Biden. None of the other states can say that. Nevada can't say that. New Hampshire can't say that. Iowa can't say that. But South Carolina can. And part of the reason is because the bulk of the votes in South Carolina's primary, it's 50 to 60% African-American voters who are not on, when you look at the political spectrum, it's not like they're conservative or progressive, they're pragmatic. They are basically looking, saying, let us kick the tires. Do you have what it takes to run a strong campaign that could eventually bring together a coalition of folks that get us to the White House? And that has worked almost every time. And so I think South Carolina, not only because the base of the Democratic Party is African-American voters, there's no other demographic or group that is as loyal to either party than African-American voters are to the Democratic Party. And so South Carolina is a very unique place, and I think it's earned its place not only in the window, but to kick off this process.
And to your point about coalitions, Democrats have been losing Latino voters, and we saw that in the last election. That's an argument for Nevada. So what do you make of this argument that, yes, Black voters are the backbone of the party, as you have described, but what about Latino voters?
Well,
why shouldn't Nevada have a chance?
I think Latino voters are very, very important and an important part of the coalition. But, my real argument here is, for the first time ever, Joe Biden, this is part of his legacy, said to Black voters who have been consistently loyal, I see you, I hear you, and instead of you being at the back of the process, let's move you to the front of the process. In 2024, we had a contest, but it wasn't a competitive contest. Yeah. And so, in this post-Calais world in which we see this full frontal attack on Black political power and Black political voices, yes, it will possibly send a certain signal to Black voters to say, in this moment in which we are being attacked by this administration, attacked by the courts, are we now have to look on the side and say whether or not the Democratic Party is standing with us? So it's not anything to say against Latino voters, because they're important parts of this coalition. But again, there's not been a part of this coalition that has been as more loyal to the Democratic Party, whether it's rain, sleet, or snow, than Black voters. And I think, at least in this time, we need to get one opportunity to see how this works and whether or not in a competitive race.
Now, you have led the DNC before. Yeah. You know what this job is all about.
It's tough.
How do you assess how Ken Martin is doing? He is the current leader of the DNC. They are being outpaced in terms of money and cash on hand by Republicans. The autopsy was a complete disaster. Do you think he should stay in this position?
No, I do. And Ken's worked really, really hard, because if you ask the most important part of the DNC coalition are state parties. If you ask state parties about how Ken Martin's doing, they will tell you fabulously. Why? It is because state parties are now receiving more resources than they ever have in the history of the party. And they're utilizing those resources to do things and to make races competitive. I'll give you a perfect example. In South Carolina, for the first time, I'm 50 years old, for the first time in my lifetime, we have recruited a Democrat to run in every state house, every statewide, and every congressional race. How we've been able to do that is because we have more resources coming into our state party to hire staff to help us with party recruitment, to help us with fundraising, to help us with various things. And you're seeing that in states around the country. They are doing all of those things. And so, yes, cash on hand for TV ads and all, that's all well and good. That's important. But the most important thing is building infrastructure in our state parties, and that's what's happening right now.
And you think he's doing that?
Yes.
All right. Well, we will stay tuned for that, and we'll see whether your state ends up being chosen to go first.
Let's see.
Jaime Harrison, thank you very much.